I'm trying to think of like a good stereotype
of like
of
Hispanics.
Hispanics.
The men are short.
I meant
That's
more like
one.
emotional.
Emotional. Of
Emotional,
course.
selfish,
Of course.
selfish things that we do. Like,
Emotional. I would say. I would say from the parents' perspective, kind of like.
oh, they want to put their dreams on you.
Yes.
And
Yep.
they kind of, yeah.
That's like a dissatisfaction that they project onto their kids when they say they don't get to achieve their dreams. They really want their kids to achieve those same exact dreams, and they will get mad if you don't. But it's kind of like, yeah.
That happened to me. That
How?
like, and that's why I stopped doing music like during high school and middle school, is because they expected me to make a lot of money, and singing isn't known to make a lot of money. So they told me to think about something that I could do in college, and that's what I came up with, was business. So
right. I think that's the default answer for a lot of people. It's like, you want to make money? Business. That's the major.
Yeah, do
Follow
something.
business. And that's actually a relatively easy major too, compared to like law or like science or being a bio major. You know what I mean? So when you want like a career that looks like it's, that will give you money, business is not it's not a bad way to go.
So I didn't ask you if you wanted to talk about this before, but talk about your major, like, and your problem with
yeah,
that.
you know what's funny?
We talked about
my
that
parents
before.
all listen to this, but they don't know English, so and my whole Dominican family listens to this a little bit.
So they're just watching.
Yeah, they are. And then my grandpa was just here. My grandpa and my grandma, they just came from the Dominican Republic. They were staying here for like 3 weeks during Christmas, and my grandpa would not stop telling me to do a Spanish episode. You have to make them Spanish, because I don't understand what you're saying. You have to make it Spanish. And,
my grandma would say
and
that.
I am contemplating making an all Spanish episode. I don't know where or how or why, but that would be interesting. But
It would be.
the major thing, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, it's exactly what you're saying, where like they want you to do certain things. But the way I see that though, it's like, I do understand. I mean, it is bad when you try to put your dreams onto your kids and expect them to do it. But I've noticed, at least with my parents, that it's a matter of calling their bluff. That's the way I see it. Like the way, and I think that's the case with a lot of Hispanic parents. I think, because I think it's not. I don't see it. Although it's unless it's some like homophobic stuff, obviously, because they're very homophobic society. So I could see them like disowning a kid because it's gay. Bet you that happens a lot, unfortunately. But when it comes to
story about that.
okay, yeah. But when it comes to like career stuff, I think what truly matters to them is that you have a safe living, right? And they're extremely skeptical, which I understand. They're like, something in the arts, that's not a guaranteed path to success. You shouldn't do it, because they don't want any risk. They just want the sure way that you're gonna be successful. And they might have like something specific they want you to do. But I think the way I see it is kind of like, but going back to the calling their bluff thing, I think as long as you are mildly successful, or like you are making some sort of income, you're not just a bum in Kensington or something, as long as you have a decent job doing this thing that said could never be done, I think at that point it's like, okay, as long as they see that I'm okay, that's really what matters to them. Yeah. And I've noticed that with a lot of things that I've done in the past, like let's say a job that I used to work at a lawyer's office, like as an administrative assistant. Like my dad talked to one of the head lawyers there, and I was working there from 14 to 18. But Jeez. I was just,
wow.
Very young. I was very young.
That's exactly how it goes. Like they push you very young. Like in middle school, they're like, figure out what you're gonna do.
Because Because I had just said I wanted to be a lawyer, and it was just kind of like they could run with that. I mean, I could have said that shit when I was 6, and they still would be like, no, that's what you said you wanted to do, right?
Go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you got to do. So I was in the lawyer office. The law office for 4 years, and I eventually got bored. And what I did was I ended up quitting before I had found a new job. Even though my parents clearly told me the only way you can leave is if you have a job. So I put in like a 3 weeks notice, and during those 3 weeks, I was scrambling like a crazy person trying to find a job, just in time by the time I was done. Cause like if I were, cause that would have been a real issue if I would have quit that job and then had nothing lined up afterwards. That would have been hell. But somehow, like last minute, I find this job at my theater, and I'm able like the last day, like I told my parents like, I quit, and I got a job starting next week or whatever, and they were just kind of like, okay, because that's the thing, like
Yeah.
you. That's why I say when you call their bluff, because they like Hispanic parents can be kind of intimidating because they're like very like, this is what you got to do. If you don't do it, I'm gonna be sad or whatever, whatever they might say. But you just gotta do it. You can't be scared of that kind of thing, especially if it's something that you want to do. And you know, depending on what it is, there's always a possibility that the parents are so crazy that they disown you for whatever. But I think for the most part, it's a thing of calling their bluff. And as long as you're not a bum, as long as you're doing relatively okay.